Find a way or fade away. How many of you seated over there remember my speech that I gave a few years back? Please raise your hands. I'm sure none. I can't see any raised hands, but that's okay, because today I want to bring to you my learnings ever since I gave you that first speech. Now, let me take you back to where I learned about this speech. One day I was sitting in the barber shop waiting for Colin to finish his haircut, and I see these two kids walk in, and each of them had this shirt on which said, "Find a way or fade away." It's interesting where we find our ideas, our introspection, and that made me think. Taking that in mind, I looked at all the avenues where we need to find a way today rather than fade away. The first one, and that still holds true compared to my original speech, it is we are our worst enemies. All of us put ourselves down. We look for other people to praise us, to give us compliments, but we don't trust ourselves. We are our worst enemies because we make it negative for ourselves. We worry, we stress when we know we can't do much with all of that. I remember speaking about Elon Musk about 2 years back, and I'll say it again today. He's the only one who believed in himself, and that's all that mattered. It didn't matter if 99% of the investment world, if the 99% of the business world didn't believe him. All that mattered is that he believed himself, and today you can see the results for yourself. So rule number one, we are our worst enemies. Make sure you believe in yourselves. Rule number two, learn from the mistakes of others, because you will not live long enough to make them all yourself. Now, I cited the example of the movie Gone Girl. I still remember most of you watched it then. In spite of watching that, you still got married. So that led me to think, is it that easy sometimes to learn from other people's mistakes, as simple as watching a movie? For sure it's not, because we can see the results today. Marriages are not going down. In fact, what I would say, more importantly, is not marriages, but learning. Learning through books is of utmost importance. Read voraciously. The dead outnumber the living 14-1. So the more you read from the people who've gone before us, the more you will learn about habits, you will learn about red flags, you will learn about your each biases. And you will put that aside, and you will be able to look through situations. So please read voraciously, because you can learn from the mistakes of others. And not as an advertisement right now, but you have a lot of avenues to read, from Scribd, listening to books online, and our very own Jahangir, who can provide you books at the snap of your benefit pay. Third point that I want to bring across, and thank you, Mahmood, because you put this thinking into me in one of your speeches. Move outside your comfort zone. But that's not my point today, because then I don't want to copy Mahmood. I want to say, hang out with people better than you, which surely asks each and every one of us to move out of our comfort zone. Believe me, if you hang out with people that are better than you, you will be outside your comfort zone, but your learning will be that much better. So try to engage with new people, people who know more, people who are doing something different. And finally, I still remember the speech our very own DTM president, Khurram Salman, gave. I think it was a year back. He read this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he narrated to us what he learned from this book. I took those teachings, and I learned that if you want to succeed, it's not try until you succeed. It's more of getting a system in place. Things that you do every day matter much more. We are not a lottery ticket. I'm sure when you pass through the highway, you see these big ads of these banks saying 250,000 dinars if you invest here, 250,000 dinars if you invest there. We all get excited. We all have the short-term memory, short-term goals. Put them all aside. Look at improving your lives each and every day, exactly like James Clear labeled out in Atomic Habits. If there were just one point that I ask each and every one of you to take home today, just at one point, it's this saying by Will Durant. And he says, indeed, we are what we repeatedly do. For excellence is not an act, but a habit. So if you could repeat that to yourself when you go out today, it'll be of great help. For we are what we repeatedly do. And excellence is not an act, but a habit. With that, guests and Toastmasters, I wish you take home something today that's positive and inspiring. And you make it a point to inculcate that into your lives so that each and every one of you can indeed become invincible. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.